5 first-round picks later reduced to 3, a team fine of $3.5 million, and Joe Smith's contract was voided. Those were the penalties from when the Timberwolves circumvented the NBA salary cap. Here we've got a vintage ESPN article from November of 2000. There's a quote from then NBA Deputy Commissioner Russ Granick. It demonstrates that if you enter into secret agreements, the consequences of getting caught can be fairly significant. So, how significant will the Clippers' punishment be? I've got my outlook on the big board. They are definitely losing their 2027 first round pick, which is a swap with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then there's their 2029 first round pick, which is top 3 protected. There's a swap with the 76ers. Then there's the prize, their 2030 first round pick, which they own outright. And then there are their 2030 second round pick, which is a swap with the Jazz, and their 2031 second round pick, which they own. So I think this is a reasonable collection of draft picks that they are going to lose. This is going to carry forward with that precedent that was set in 2000 with the Timberwolves. It's also reasonable, not overly harsh. The problem here is that the Clippers' future was already bleak. And so this really is what they have left. And you don't want to punish them too much because, as the league, you don't want a team that's a continual bottom dweller with absolutely no hope for the future. So even the bad teams in the league now, there's at least some hope in the future for most of them. With the Clippers, they're really going to have no hope once they lose these picks. But we do have to have a significant penalty to deter this type of behavior. But not only that, more importantly, to show that the league is serious when it comes across this type of evidence and that it is going to protect the integrity of the league. So those are the draft picks. I have a $15 million fine, more than double what would have been the fine for the Timberwolves. So in 2000 translates to approximately $6.3 million today, adjusted for inflation. So this is more than double the fine. Obviously, here the money is not important. Steve Ballmer would be willing to pay whatever, especially if it could lighten the rest of the penalty. But I think $15 million is reasonable, and it's also significant. So that's the fine. Also, I have Kawhi Leonard's contract being voided. And here we're looking at the player side of it, and we want there to be a deterrent for players who are engaged in this type of behavior. According to the Toronto Sun or the Toronto Star, whichever it is, Kawhi Leonard was already seeking outside benefits from the Toronto Raptors, and we're going to curtail this behavior right now. Kawhi Leonard is owed just over $100 million for the next 2 years. His contract will be voided. He is very unlikely to recoup that amount. I don't even think it's actually possible for him to recoup that amount from other teams in the next 2 years. So he's going to lose a lot of money there. Of course, he can't receive any other outside money other than his contract from the Clippers. So that's going to hurt him in terms of he's only a creditor now to aspirations. So aspirations in bankruptcy, he's not going to receive that money. So this is a player deterrent, but it's also a penalty for the Clippers. And then last here, this may not happen, but I have Steve Ballmer and Dennis Wong being suspended for 2 years. This is to complete the punishment, round it out, show that the NBA really does take this seriously. Steve Ballmer, of course, carries so much weight because he has enough. His current net worth is actually more than the market cap for the NBA. So he could actually buy the NBA outright. But there needs to be a precedent set. And I think this is one of the ways that we can really, really cement how severe this penalty is. So it's a way to supplement the penalty beyond just the draft picks and beyond the fine, and to show that the NBA does not condone this type of behavior. So this is the punishment outlook. I think this is reasonable. I think this follows the precedent, and it also is a deterrent, and it also makes the NBA it has the NBA taking a strong stance